get started here.
He was too big, didn't he? You should have brought us in a little bit more.
And Dave.
Just a recording tonight, he said.
Well, thanks for everybody coming. This will be the first recorded meeting that you can look at when you go home, and hopefully it'll be posted. Whenever Tom posts it on the website, you can go to it. I wanted to introduce Tim Ressler, who's doing all the work for us to record this. So, Tim, you want to talk a little bit about the recordings?
Sure. Good evening, everybody. My name is Tim Ressler. I am the technology director for the school district. And, I've been with the district since 2006, and working with Tom and Dave, I happily agreed to come, and we're going to start recording the meetings. And we're going to potentially stream the meetings so we can get our visibility of the association out to more of our members across the country. So just a couple things we wanted to talk about tonight. This is kind of a first tonight, so we're going to try to see how the evening goes. We're going to try to get, we've got 8 microphones around the room, and if someone needs to talk, you got to be semi-close to the microphones. And so if you have something tonight that you would like to add, we would just ask that you maybe raise your hand and to get recognized by the board so that we can get the camera on you. But then also, it looks like we're pretty fairly spaced out, but one of the other things was to pass a mic down if someone has something to say. But I believe I think we're pretty good, Dave. The mics will probably catch up the majority of our thing. One thing that we did want to mention is the chatter in the room. Those mics will be hot. There's no way for me to turn those off. So any side conversations that you may have while the meeting's going on, you might want to pull that off because the recording could pick that up, right? So especially in the future, if we decide to live stream these meetings, those mics will maybe pick up a side conversation. So just be careful and mindful that those mics are on, and if you're close, they may catch that. So,
Let me tell you something about Dave Weiger.
Okay, thanks, Tim. I appreciate you doing this for us, and Tim's agreed to, and the school corporation has decided that he can do this for us. So this will be great. We'll try to get maybe Jared Hill and so that he can kind of see what's going on here when he can come. He's leaving for Florida tomorrow, so he couldn't make it. So, but anyway, that'll give another person in case Tim can't make it. So appreciate that. The biggest thing is we had requests from individuals that live far enough away they couldn't come to the meeting. So this way we get everybody involved. Doesn't matter where you live, you can go and see the recording of the meeting and understand what's going on within the Alumni Association. So that's important. Let's start out. Amy, you want to do the Secretary's report?
Sure. Dave, our president, opened up the meeting by welcoming everyone. Ravon Kaufler read the minutes from the October meeting, and Dave asked if there were any additions or corrections. Cookie made a motion that the minutes were approved as read. Donna Roller seconded it. Financial report. The scholarship fund, the starting balance is $47,017 with an expense of $285, leaving a balance of $46,732 as of November 16th, 2021. Since Kathy Hensley was not at the meeting, there was not a report for the operational fund. Marilla made a motion to accept Donna Roller, and Donna Roller seconded it. Old business. Dave said that the bylaws are in the website. He asked everyone to go onto the website and review them. Since this meeting is a combination of a general meeting and an executive meeting, any voting will be done with the executive voting first and then the general. In January, we will be going over and voting on the bylaws. All meetings starting in January will be video recorded by Tim Ressler. He will be here in January to help with the recording. Tom Moriarty and Garrett Hill will help Tim. These recordings will be advertised on YouTube. We will need backups. These recordings will keep everyone informed with the activities of the Alumni Association. We will also allow alumnus to ask questions or comments after they review the New business, Richard Compton presented a trophy that will be a traveling trophy between Beech Grove and Greenfield in memory of Matt English, a coach and teacher who passed away in 2018 of brain cancer. The trophy will go home with the school that wins the basketball game. This trophy will be presented at the Greenfield Beech Grove basketball game on November 23rd at 7:30 in the Beech Grove gym. Dave had a meeting with Garrett Daniel, the athletic director, to find out what items the alumni can participate, including presentation of the following: 2 letter jackets, 1 boy and 1 girl at $200 each, 5 wrestling plaques to be placed in the gym, $300 each, and retire a jersey in honor of a sports figure, $300 to $400. Also, 2 banners for the Beech Grove High School Athletic Association to be placed in the gym, either 8 feet by 2 feet PVC material, $150 each, 2 6x4 banners at $120 each. The alumni will be purchasing banners to be put around the high school, starting with the larger banner being hung in the Beech Grove High School gym. Donna Roller made a motion that the larger banner will be hung in the gym, and Cookie Zimmerman seconded the motion. Richard Compton is going to find out what other projects from other departments are needed besides the athletic department. The alumni also needs to find other ways to raise money for the operational fund. Cookie Zimmerman talked about the upcoming newsletter. Class articles should be in by mid-January at the latest. Deputy chairs need to call class reps to remind them about their class articles. The alumni need to find room in the newsletter for funding. Kay Denning presented a flyer that she will be giving to all seniors who are planning to further their education, whether it is college, trade school, or any other training, and encourage them to apply for the scholarships given by the Alumni Association. This flyer should also be put on the website. An update on the alumni dinner was given. The golf tournament will be June 10th, 2022. The 46th Annual Alumni Dinner will be June 11th, 2022. In the past, the alumni meetings would start at 7 p.m. and in the winter months start at 6:30 p.m. Sharon suggested we started meetings at 6:30 all year round. It was voted on and approved. All meetings will now start at 6:30. The meeting was adjourned at 7:40. Its minutes were submitted by Sharon.
Are there any additions or corrections? Is there a motion to approve? George?
I make a motion to approve minutes read.
Second. Donna?
Yep.
Okay, all in favor? Saying aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Do the treasurer's report. I'm sorry. Somebody say something? Oh, okay. Treasurer's report.
Kathy's not here tonight, so I have the operating fund, the balance today is $9,992.74. For the scholarship treasurer's report, the balance at last report, November 16th, was $46,732. We've had $100 in donations, and we paid out $6,750 in scholarships for the second installment. The balance today is $40,082.
Are there any questions concerning the treasurer's reports?
Will I get a copy of that?
I'm sorry.
Will I get a copy of that?
Can Amy get a copy of that?
I have it for her, yes.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Is there a motion to approve? Motion by, and second?
Second.
Who? Oh, Ruthie?
And who made the motion?
John. Okay. Going to start off with some old business. The following is kind of an update that was approved at the November meeting. What was approved was 2 letter jackets, 1 boy, 1 girl, about $200 each for presenting, and that will be done in the future when they do letter jackets. I think it's in the spring, isn't it, Rich, when they do letter jackets?
David, I'm not sure.
Okay, I'm thinking it is. When we presented 5 wrestling plaques that will be placed in the gym, $300, that was presented on December the 9th. We also approved retiring a basketball jersey. That was in honor of Katie Gerald. $300 or $400. I don't know if we've got the bill on that yet. And that was presented on December the 16th. So those things have already been done. We had a meeting with Dr. Laura Hammock and to come up with projects that we can help with in the future. They came up with 2 projects. One of them is yard signs. Roncalli has yard signs all over the place, and she would like to see that Beech Grove has yard signs. It will say on the bottom of the sign that it's sponsored by the Beech Grove High School Alumni Association. And the other project is caps and gowns. We have graduates that can't walk with the class because they can't afford the caps and gowns. So those are the 2 projects, and hopefully we can have a good turnout as far as the money going into the operating fund from the newsletter that will cover the cost in those 2 items. I don't have the cost on the caps and gowns yet, but the signs, I think, is roughly $5,200, yard signs.
How many signs how many does that include, David? How many
You know,
signs?
I don't have that note, and she doesn't say in her article. I'll find out and then present it at the next meeting.
Because now, Roncalli, those parents, the ones that want them, I know for a fact, pay for they get them from the school,
All right,
but they pay for them.
yeah.
But I mean, if we're going to put a sign in every student's yard,
Well,
and if that's, if that's what they want to do,
I think they want to just get it around Beech Grove to kind of highlight. Plus, we have a lot of students that are outside of the Beech Grove area to get some signs out in the surrounding areas for students that come here.
so is that through Satterfield, the price of the signs?
I can't answer that. I don't know who they got the price from.
Because I'd like to see us get more than just one estimate.
I'll
because
find out from Laura.
That sounds a little high unless you're getting hundreds.
Yeah, I can't answer that. She hasn't put it in her letter or memo that's going into the newsletter. Yes.
On the caps and gowns, are we going to pay for any graduate that can't pay for them, or are we going
It'd
to
be
limit
covering
that?
all of them.
We're going to
and-
cover all of them?
And that way, there's, no favoritism or
Okay.
anything like that going on. If they paying for all of them. They have been using disposable caps and gowns, and they will probably go to ones that can be reused. And then it'd just be a matter of replacing just the ones that have too much wear and tear. That's my understanding, but I haven't got that information yet. Anybody else on caps and gowns or signs? Okay, moving on. We're still continuing to fill efforts for 2 decade chairs and class representatives. I've tasked Sharon Ogetz to make calls of the people that are class reps and decade chairs where we don't have an email address. We got a phone number, but we don't have an email address. So she's calling everybody to that we're missing email addresses to get that filled in on class reps. I will mention too, for each of you present that is either a decade chair or class representative, we have redone the position descriptions to help you a little bit. Hopefully it's easier than what you've been doing. So if you would, after the meeting, come up and pick up your position description. We also, Tom, do you remember how many we sent to Columbus to find addresses for? Wasn't it almost 800? Okay. my wife's cousin, his job was to find people for Purdue University that, where the, not the scholarship, but the tuition hasn't been paid. So he would hunt these people and give it back to Purdue, and then they would get a lawyer to go after them for tuition. So he's done that all of his career, practically, not for just Purdue, but for even credit card companies and so forth. So Tom put together a list for the 70s, and I think there was almost 800. So he's working on that to see if we can find those 800 people and get good addresses and so forth, and contact information. So hopefully we'll have some of that back, maybe even all of it back, by the time we send a newsletter. I would like to bring up that we probably ought to pay him something for doing this, at least a nominal fee, even though he's retired. He said, you know, I'm not going to charge you, but we'll talk about that at a future meeting. We'll see what he comes up with first. Bylaws. Did everybody have a chance to review the bylaws? They were online at our website, and I wanted to go over just a couple of the items. Do you have a question? Okay, well, we had to come up there, so I wanted to go over just a couple of the changes we made. One, we wanted to stagger 3 positions, which was public relations, this historical data, and help me, somebody. Scholarship, that's what it was. Thanks, Kay. Did you tell me that? Anyway, we wanted to stagger those and make sure that we're not filling both 2 or 3 positions all at the same time, so we staggered the terms of office. And so that is a big change. We also made them directors because they always had to be board approved to be part of the board. So we made them directors so that they're automatically part of the board. So that is one of the big changes. There's another big change that we made, was that we really weren't holding an annual meeting. According to 501c3, we need to provide financials. And our annual meeting kind of was in June at the banquet. Well, we don't have all the financials for the fiscal year in June. So we moved the annual meeting to July. The audit will take place within the first 2 weeks of July, and by the 3rd Tuesday, we will have an annual meeting. It'll be publicized so that everybody has a chance to come, and in that way we have an official financial report and be operating closer to the requirements of the 501c3. Any questions before we start the approval process for the bylaws? Anybody have any questions? Any comments? Okay. Somebody want to make a motion to approve the new bylaws? Okay. Tom Moriarty makes a motion. Who's second? Kay Little, or Kay Denning? Excuse me. You're still Kay Little Denning, right? Any comments or questions? Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. The next review date for the bylaws, unless something happens, we review it before that, but it must be reviewed no later than January 15th, 2027, according to our bylaws. Newsletter. Cookie, would you like to take over on the newsletter?
I'm only coughing because you made me nervous about speaking, I'm sure. First of all, I would like to introduce Ron Pitcott, and he's from the class of 76, and he's going to assist me with this. And I know his background on organization and all that kind of stuff because I've worked with him a lot of years. I'm glad he decided to step forward. Of course, I would have twisted his arm a little bit more if he hadn't. Newsletter, I only have, at this time, 4 class messages. So let's kind of push. I will be making some phone calls and push and get on that. The president has done his portion more than once, and he likes it now. For the most part, everything, it's just a matter of getting the information to me. We've got pictures that'll go in this year that'll be different than we've had in the past. Deadline on pretty much everything is the end of January, because I put that to bed and then I get it to the school, and I haven't had a call back yet from Samantha. I started to call her Sam because that's what she goes by. Sam does the printing for us. She also organizes the students to use their time as service time, folding our letters and such. So we've got to find out for sure that they are going to be available this year, and who knows, with the back and forth of closing and opening the schools. We'll just have to play it by ear. So right now, working with Kelly Sawyers, who has all of our newsletter information from years past, and we keep plugging it back and forth. Marlia has gotten donations to me. Kay has gotten the scholarship information to me. Judy has her information on silent auction. Right now, I know that there's no change on cost because John and I talked and he checked in the cost on our dinners, so there will be no change on that. There will be some changes on the page, but nothing dramatic. This will probably all go out to you before we put it to print because you get to look at it one last time to make sure that you don't see something that needs to be changed because of proofreading and the that wasn't there or the and that was there, and these little things like this that slip by us. Ron's wife is going to come in on this part. I guess she's really good about proofreading. We just haven't given her the bad news yet. And that's basically all I have to report tonight. Thank you. I'll add one more thing. Tommy has told me how many to get printed, and that was like 5,873, so I'm asking for 6,100.
Okay. We may have a few more if the fellow in Columbus comes up with some new addresses for us, so hopefully he'll have that to us soon enough that we can make any adjustment to the newsletter.
Yeah.
Okay. Rich, did you have a question? Did you? I thought you had your hand up. Okay. Okay, anybody have any questions on the newsletter? Make sure you get your articles in to Cookie. I do have one other thing under open agenda on the meeting dates. I noticed that at the bottom of the agenda I had gone back to 7 o'clock in the summer. I didn't know if we want to make the summertime still 6:30 or not. If I have some comments on that. George, I see you're shaking your head yes.
It's like a dog in the back window, man. Yeah, why change? I mean, make it easy for everybody.
All right.
Yes.
You know, the older we get, David, we forget something, but if you make that a standard time.
Okay, we'll make them 6:30 if that's okay with everybody.
Yes.
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 Okay.
I'll
I
make
had,
a motion.
I just picked it up from another place, and it was, in the summer, I thought, well, it's light later, So maybe we go back to 7, but 6:30, okay with everybody? We'll do that.
Yes.
Okay. So that'll change on your, if you have your copy of your agenda, that'll change to 6:30 in June and July. All right. Open agenda, anything that anybody want to bring up? Okay?
I sent out letters to businesses in January to get contributions. We only have 3 businesses that really reply and do something every year. I have some letters here that I've signed. If anybody knows a business that they might want to give one of these to, pick one up from me.
Okay. Anything else?
Point of information,
Yeah.
our varsity basketball coach, star athlete from Beech Grove from the 90s, says they hand out the awards to the chevrons and all, but they don't give jackets. They have to buy the jackets, they have to buy the sweaters.
Right. That's why we are buying one boy and one girl that can't afford it.
Okay, well, okay.
All right, they can buy jackets.
Pardon?
They can buy jackets, but he said, Garrett said that we always come up with somebody that can't afford to buy a jacket.
Okay.
So we volunteered to pay for one boy and one girl. Okay, let me skip my notes here, see if I forgot anything. Gold cards, anybody that doesn't have one, come see me. I got gold cards here. That gets you into any function free. Sure, John.
As far as the annual dinner, has the date changed?
No,
It's still going to be the second week of,
it's the
11th?
11th,
Okay,
June the 11th.
good. I'd like to solicit help for setting up and tearing down the dinner, starting early this year, so that we have plenty of help. For anybody that might be volunteer, please come and see me after the meeting.
Okay. Anything else? Okay.
Yes, usually I tell you, when I talk to the young winners that we've had this year, I've spoke to all of them, they're all going back for their second semester, and they were happy that we gave them the money and thanked us for everything, and that's all I've got to say about that.
All right. Well, I hope they're appreciative. How much did we, okay, how much did we give out last year? When there, were 5?
Yeah, no, it was more than 5.
No. Yeah, it was 5 this year.
Oh, was it more?
And do you know what the dollar amount was for the year?
I gave it to Cookie the other day, but I can't remember.
Oh, no, I thought I had the total for $300,000.
Pass the buck, that's okay.
We have broke the $300,000 this year.
13.5 we gave out last year. Okay. All right. Boy, this has gone fast. Anybody have any questions or any item that they want to bring up before the meeting? Okay, I guess, Tim, did you have anything you want to add? You're good? Okay, a motion to adjourn.
Southport Cardinals Wednesday night here. Motion to adjourn.
All right, thanks. By motion to adjourn.
Pardon?
Donna? Second? George? All right. Thanks for everything showing up, and hopefully we can get more people to come and at least go online and listen to the meeting so that they're up to date with what's going on. I think this is record time. So maybe we ought to record more meetings this week. Meeting adjourned.